Are Jehovah's Witnesses a cult? If your religion was a cult, how would you know? Followers of Scientology, Branch Davidians, and those that died at Jonestown didn't consider themselves cults. In fact, if you go to the Scientology website, you can see an FAQ that asks, "Is Scientology a cult?" and it uses much the same reasoning as the Jehovah's Witnesses do on their website. So again, how would you know if you were in a cult? There are identifying marks for cults, aka high control groups. Most cults do not tick every single box, but it is a good guideline for determining whether a group uses mind control techniques that are common with cults. One mark is they are ruled by a man or group of men. Jehovah's Witnesses are ruled by the governing body. The governing body dictates all interpretation of doctrine for the entire organization. Another identifying mark of cults is that they isolate you from your previous friends, family, and humanity in general. It is Jehovah's Witness doctrine that if you are not one of them, you are considered bad associations and worldly. If you become a Jehovah's Witness, you are pressured to leave your non-Jehovah's Witness family and friends behind and limit your association with them. Another identifying mark is that they teach that they are the only way, the only truth, and the only ones that can save you. Jehovah's Witnesses constantly refer to their religion as the truth and their teachings as sacred secrets. Number 4, cults use fear to persuade you to never leave them. Jehovah's Witnesses teach that if you leave the organization, you will die by God's hand at Armageddon. They also shun people that leave the organization, thereby leading to an environment of fear of both Armageddon and being disfellowshipped. Another identifying mark is that if you leave, you are punished severely. We touched on that a little bit in the last point, but yes, you are punished if you leave the organization. You will lose all of your friends and all of your family that are Jehovah's Witnesses. Number 6, abuse is overlooked because it favors a patriarchal society where men get privileges and women don't. As far as abuse being tolerated, there are countless cases of child sexual abuse in the organization that are not being reported to police. In fact, in Australia alone, over 1,000 cases of child sexual abuse were not reported to authorities. And far be it from me to rail against the patriarchy, but in the Jehovah's Witness organization, women are not allowed to teach in the congregation, and they are not allowed to study in the presence of males without a head covering. This is completely ridiculous. Number 7, they require some sort of sacrifice. This is also true of Jehovah's Witnesses. The doctrine of teaching to refuse blood transfusions, even in the event of a life-threatening situation, leads to countless lives being sacrificed for a religion. Another sacrifice you must make as a Jehovah's Witness is your free time. You have to go preach door to door, go to meetings, and study at home for the rest of your life and keep a record of it. If you perhaps convert later in life to Jehovah's Witnesses, you must sacrifice all your beloved holidays, birthdays, and all your former associates. Number 8, they threaten you with loss of family, friends, if you don't do as they say. We did cover this a little bit before, but emotional manipulation through disfellowshipping can lead to the loss of your family and friends. Numbers 9 and 10, they claim it's not them but God that wants you to act a certain way, and that they also get their authority from God Himself. The governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses claims to be God's earthly channel of communication, and they claim to be chosen by God's Holy Spirit itself. Number 11, they don't want you to read any literature or websites that is against or critical of their cause. This is true of Jehovah's Witnesses as well. The governing body has repeatedly admonished followers to stick to only what is authorized. This video is not authorized for your information. Number 12, they discourage, use fear, threaten, or order that certain medical procedures are not done. Again, Jehovah's Witnesses are urged not to accept blood transfusions under the threat of being rejected by God and rejected by their friends and family in the congregation. And in the past, they also forbid organ transplants. Another identifying mark of cults is that they discourage education that they aren't involved in. This is true of Jehovah's Witnesses as well. Anthony Morris III and Watchtower articles have repeatedly gone on rants against higher education. Number 14, They are usually apocalyptic in their speech. We did cover this a bit, but the Jehovah's Witnesses teach that Armageddon is imminent and that if you do not join their organization, you will be executed by God. Why take my word for it? Why not do your own research? For more information on cults, Google the BITE model to identify high control groups using mind control. The BITE model is a list of identifying marks that Steve Hassan, a former member of the Mooney cult, came up with. His book, Combating Cult Mind Control, is excellent and I'm highly recommend it. This is Capitan signing off for you right now, but if you want to learn more about other subjects and things about Jehovah's Witnesses that they don't want you to know, go to jwawake.com.